Hey everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me for a little bit of a crossover video today. It's been all baseball recently on the channel, which is great. It's baseball season. It's probably the sport that I collect the most, but I do have a loyalty to hockey as well, and I do collect hockey very heavily. So I wanted to get some hockey cards shown on the channel, but I thought of kind of a unique way to celebrate a player run that I've kind of completed or mostly completed recently with a pickup that I made, and I thought I would do so by linking this particular player to one of the most famous baseball players of the 21st century, Mike Trout. So you can see some statistics in front of you, or accomplishments rather, that Mike Trout racked up during the first 7 full seasons of his MLB career. So he obviously debuted in 2011, but he only played a partial season due to the call-up mid-year. Didn't see a ton of action, so 2012 was his first full season. And so we're looking at some accomplishments there from the years 2012 through 2018, which represents, again, his first 7 complete years in Major League Baseball. An incredible resume for a player across their first 7 full years, and you can easily see why he became kind of the darling of baseball and of the hobby. And so the hockey player that we're going to look at has had a very similar start. And I've mentioned this, probably before on the channel, but I've never really gotten into detail or laid out any facts like you see in front of you there. And so we're going to talk quickly now about this guy, Connor McDavid, the most talented hockey player in the world, and in my opinion, the most talented individual hockey player since Wayne Gretzky. I think I can safely say that. I'm sure others may feel differently. I do love Alex Ovechkin and other players, but this guy is extra special. And wanted to look at, he just wrapped up his 7th full season in the NHL, which is why I chose a 7-year cutoff on the Mike Trout stats. I wanted to see side by side, how the first 7 years of Mike Trout, who we know very, very well, line up against Connor McDavid, who you may not know as well if you're not a hockey fan. So we'll start off with MVP finishes. So Mike Trout, amazingly, he's very well known for this. He finished top 5 in league MVP voting every one of his first 7 complete seasons. And amazingly, Connor McDavid, we look at him, he finished top 5 in MVP finishes in all 7 of his first 7 seasons, exactly like Mike Trout. So that is cool. Next up, as far as hardware or accolades, some individual accolades go, Mike Trout, across those 7 years, won a Rookie of the Year, 2 MVPs. He would later win a 3rd, but in those first 7 years, he won 2. And he was an All-Star all 7 times. I think he was a 6-time Silver Slugger as well, although I didn't note that on the card there. So Connor McDavid, how did he do individually in his first 7 years? 3 MVPs. He just won his 3rd. So he's 1 ahead of Mike Trout, and a 6-time All-Star. He did have 1 season where he missed some time and did not participate in All-Star festivities or was not selected to the All-Star team. So pretty much a dead match there as well. Trout has 1 Rookie of the Year, 2 MVPs. McDavid has just 3 MVPs. And McDavid, I should mention, he missed significant time in his first season as well. But for a different reason. He broke his leg, pretty nasty injury. And so when you think about what he's been able to do, especially coming back from that, I think it makes it all the more impressive. And then lastly, or next, I wanted to focus on a stat that kind of just in general summed up the player's dominance in their sport. And so for Mike Trout, wanted to point out that across those 7 full seasons, he led the league in WAR 4 times, which is I think a good measure to show, his overall impact on the game. It's not like he's a big home run hitter in terms of leading the league every year or winning batting titles, but overall, 4 times he was the MLB WAR leader. McDavid, across his first 7 full seasons, has been a scoring champ, which is kind of the measure of success for an offensive player, or the ultimate measure of success, 5 times. That's even 1 better than Trout. I know it's obviously not apples to apples here, but just gives you an idea. And then lastly, and in some people's mind, most importantly, 0 championships for both of these guys. So they They really mirror each other quite closely. I think McDavid has been maybe just a little bit more individually dominating than Trout, but not a whole lot. They're kind of neck and neck. I do have an asterisk here next to the 0 championships for McDavid because I do want to distinguish, while Trout has barely sniffed the MLB postseason, McDavid has improved his Oilers team significantly as far as how far they're advancing in the playoffs. He's gotten the team, almost single-handedly or alongside his teammate, Leon Draisaitl, into the playoffs multiple times. They've advanced beyond the first round more than once, and they do look like a team that could experience postseason success in the near future. I certainly hope so. So yeah, just an interesting parallel between those two athletes and a little bit of data behind why I frequently refer to Connor McDavid as the Mike Trout of hockey early in his career. And so the point of this video, after all that gabbing, was to celebrate a little Connor McDavid run that I've just put the latest touch on. It's not complete because of this card. This is his rookie card, the Upper Deck Young Guns. In and of itself, quite an expensive card, or not a cheap card. But the run that I'm working on is the Upper Deck Exclusives parallel, numbered to 100, that goes all the way back to the late 90s in hockey. And while there is a rookie card, a Young Guns rookie that just like you see here, in exclusives format, numbered to 100, that's like I'm not even kidding, a 5-figure card and probably a $15,000 to $20,000 card. So I will never own one of those. But what I am very proud of that I've been able to assemble over the last maybe 2 to 3 years here of really working at it is a run of all of his other Upper Deck flagship exclusives, starting with this one, the second year. This is a super tough card. I've only seen maybe 3 or 4 copies, maybe 2 or 3 copies of this surface over the last couple of years on eBay. A friend of mine, good friend of mine, bought one. I bought this one, and it's really been a dry spell ever since. So a very, very difficult and sneaky good second year McDavid card there. That's the only one of these, or at least that I'm going to look at today's run, that I have graded. But then following that, we have the third year card from 2017. Nice high-fiving of his teammates and a photo bombing there, I think by Leon Draisaitl, possibly in the background. I'm not 100% sure on that, but great card of McDavid. I love those orange Oilers sweaters there. And, being third year, that's kind of a sneaky good card. Got the fourth year from 2018. Again, these are identifiable by the serial numbering that's on the front and the UD Exclusives banner, and they sometimes have different foil work as well. But these started in Upper Deck Hockey in 1998. So this parallel has been around for 25 years, only missing from the Upper Deck Hockey set once in that 25-year run. Next up, we have the 2019. Pretty cool one there, and I love the celebration shot and also the first horizontally oriented flagship McDavid card. So just really cool one there. And again, that third year in a row with that orange Oilers sweater, which is some pretty nice continuity there. All right, then we have 2020, which is a shot of him at presumably Rexall Place in Edmonton, coming off the ice there, skating down to the locker room. So I like that image. And then 2021, back to the orange Oilers sweater there. Great stuff, and I love the separate inset photo here. This almost reminds me a little bit of like 1994 Upper Deck Baseball, but without that kind of creepy photo stretching that occurred with the way they adjusted those images, but really like that design. And then from this past year's flagship Upper Deck set, finally landed the exclusives. This was brutal, waiting it out for this. Other than the second year that I started off with, which is like an impossible card, this one here probably gave me the toughest time of any in the 7 that we just looked at. And obviously that, kind of neat, but the 7 that I just showed you in this run correspond to the 7 seasons that are represented in that statistical comparison between Trout and McDavid that we led off with. But I think the difficulty here was a combination of 2 things. Maybe not as much of the wax getting ripped for this particular year. And then combined with that, I think hockey is seeing a little bit of a revival in terms of popularity. I have several close friends of mine in the hobby that I know that have gotten quite into the sport in the past year or two and are, funneling decent amount of hobby funds into it. And I'm sure that's the case for others as well. I hope that continues, and I hope that's a good sign for, hockey progressing going forward. But I think because of all those factors, this one was just really, really tough. I have been trying to acquire this card for about 9 months with a saved daily eBay search and other scouring, and it took until now to bring this home, and I had to pay up for it as well. It wasn't, eBay authenticity guarantee type money or anything like that, but it wasn't cheap either. But I'm really happy to put the final touch for now on that playing era run minus the rookie of Connor McDavid Upper Deck exclusives. Have the last 7 seasons now represented in that parallel from his second year on, and certainly something that I will try to upkeep in the future, albeit probably more challenging than it's been up to this point. So that's a wrap on today's video. Thanks to anyone who stuck it out for some hockey content. I know it's not as popular as baseball. Hopefully the Mike Trout comparison was at least interesting to you. And I'll certainly be back either way in the very near future with some more sports card content. Till then, enjoy the hobby. See ya.